guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope the wind noise is not going to be a problem today. It's one of those things where before I start filming it's perfectly calm, and then as soon as I pick up the camera the wind's going to blow. But anyway, before we get started on today's video, I want to respond to a ton of comments and DMs I got about the 5.3 motor build. I posted one video up since I've done the video about building that 5.3, and it's like people started asking questions like, why aren't we doing it, or why aren't you doing it anymore? And like, you know, you guys got to understand, it's like, for one, I had to figure out everything I wanted to do to it. Research. It costs thousands of dollars to get the parts I want. You know, I can't just in 1 week order all the parts and have all the parts here and then bam, we'll put it in. I can't do that. It's going to be an over you know, throughout the rest of the year type thing. I mean, I'll probably have it in a couple months, but don't be expecting like one video after the other of doing something to that motor, because I can't do that. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have that kind of time. We're still going to build it, I promise, and I'm going to keep you updated every step of the way. In fact, I'm getting ready to order the first part for it this afternoon. So yes, we're still building it. Sorry that it's not it's not every single video is going to be about building that motor. But if you're just stopping into the channel, you don't know what I'm talking about, or you're a subscriber and missed that video, we are building a 5.3 for this truck. It's already got a 5.3 in it, but this one's I got a new one. We're going to build it. You know, it's already on a stand and all that. So go check that video out. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so you saw from the title, today's video is going to be on how much money I have spent here on my 2004 Chevy Silverado. So if you are new to the channel, there it is, 2004 Chevy Silverado. We'll go over everything that's done to it here when we talk about the price, but I got the hood open and everything. We're going to go through how much money everything has cost me. I am not going to be including regular maintenance items, of course, like oil changes, anything that's gone bad, like alternators, water pumps, power steering pumps. That's not what I'm including in today's video, because we'd be here all day. There is already a video up of what all I've replaced on it anyway, so that's irrelevant. Today is going to talk about how much money I've spent on aftermarket parts, anything that changes in performance or cosmetic wise. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the most expensive modification on this truck is, you probably can guess it, the wheels and tires. Those are 22 by 12 fuel forged, wrapped in 35 1250 Toyo Open Country RTs. Now, I paid $32.50 for them used, so that by far makes the most expensive mod. But if you were to buy those new, I'd probably be a lot further in it than that. But thankfully I got them used. I don't have as much in them as some people might if they bought them new. But at $32.50, that makes them the most expensive modification I've done to this truck. And I had them ceramic coated, which tacked on another $200. So you might as well say I've got about $35.50 in the wheels and tires on this truck. So right off the bat, we're already $3,500 deep into the truck. Now, the next thing is the Rough Country 4-inch lift. You can see up in there, that was $1,000. Now, let me clarify something here, because I guess people look at them, I mean, since it's just a 4-inch, maybe they think because I'm on 35s that we're just on a leveling kit, and I'm not. The 4-inch kit is not a leveling kit. A 4-inch kit is a complete kit, as you saw in there, differential drop, bigger spindles, all that. I just didn't want to do a 6-inch because of how much I do with the truck. So one of the, you know, that's a full kit under there. It's not a leveling kit. So that was $1,000. I did that myself. If you've been a subscriber on here for a long time, you saw that video. I installed that myself, so that saved me a good bit of money. But $1,000 for the lift kit. Now, the next most popular thing here on the truck, I get questions every single day about, even the cost too, is the exhaust. All right, so the exhaust is, well, for starters, it cost me $500. Now, what it is, and there's a ton of videos on the channel, you can go and figure this out and watch the videos on it, is dual exhaust. Catalytic converters are still intact due to my state law. It comes back into an X pipe, no mufflers, and then out the back here to duals on both sides, 4-inch tips. There you go. So that was $500. You know, some people have told me they've paid, some people have like gone and got it done, paid a little bit more. A couple people got quotes for a little bit less. So I guess that's just gonna depend on your shop. Now, the next thing we're getting into, let's go ahead and talk about the last big item. Now, the transmission went out a while back. And I'm going to include it just because, you know, that counts. Motor, transmission, I'll count, even though that's an item that just went bad, because I didn't I built it. I didn't just put it in like factory spec, so I'm going to count that. It was $2,500. It's 460E. I had it rebuilt, and then, you know, different parts put in. Of course, there's a video on that, but Corvette servo, more clutch blades, different torque converter, all that. But you can go on there and look at that video. $2,500. That was labor, parts, and everything. Some people, I got questions on that. $2,500. Is that just the transmission? That's labor and everything. So anything I tack in here would include labor, but that's probably the only thing on here that I didn't do myself. So $2,500 for the transmission. That's the second most expensive thing here on the truck. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty stuff. Now, by nitty-gritty, I mean all of the little stuff that cost $100, $200, $300 here and there that adds up ridiculously fast. The mirrors, bought them 2 years ago, 180 bucks. So 180 there. Let's see, electric fans, everything for the different radiator, the electric fans, the harness, and tuning the PCM to accept the electric fans was $500. Now, since we're already under the hood, we might as well talk about the quarter intake, $100. And since to top off all the performance stuff, the Diablo Sport i2 tuner, $300. I went in on it with my buddy Justin, so I didn't have the full amount in it. So $500 for E-fans, $100 for intake, $300 for the tuner, so $800 for any type of performance part. Let's go ahead and get inside the truck and talk about the parts in there. All right, inside of the truck, not anything crazy. You see there's the gauge clusters. Those are from US Speedo. That was $250. Shipped to the door. So a lot of people ask questions about that. That's from US Speedo, $250. Audio-wise, Kenwood Exelon, head unit, nothing crazy. Plus it's got a kicker 12-inch subwoofer under the seat, 500 watt amp. All of the audio together about $500. That's about it on the inside, but the last thing that just the little individual pieces add up is lighting. I don't think there's anything lighting on this truck factory anymore, all the way down to the bulbs. The headlight housings, of course, those are aftermarket because they're all chrome. Clear side marker lenses. You've got the light bar behind the grille. You've got LED fog lights, and then out here in the back, we've got smoked tail lights. They're LED as well. Of course, tag lights are LED, reverse lights are LED, their brake lights LED. So all of that together, I just threw it in a lump sum instead of naming off the individual costs. We're going to call it about $500. Might be a little bit more, but really the headlights and all that are a lot cheaper for this than you would think. I got the pretty good deal on the light bar. It's just an aux beam light bar. So $500 on miscellaneous lighting. That also includes the rock lights under the truck and the interior lights inside of the truck. Let's see, a couple more items. The grill you just saw, that was $125. Rear spacers, $150. Those are Bora spacers. I think I got them on like a Black Friday deal this past winter. But you know, of course, if you're not familiar with Chevy, you got to put rear spacers once you lift it to get it to match the front because of that wider front track being pushed out when you lift it. But that is about it. Yeah, I didn't forget anything. I had to write. I sat there at my desk and write it all down and think about it for like yesterday and made sure I wasn't going to forget anything. But all in all together, I'm going to call it about $11,000. I think that only adds up to like 10 something, but we might as well say 11 because I'm sure there's little things that I bought that kind of added to it that I didn't include. Now, some of you might drop down in the comments, well, how much was the color match? I did that myself. It didn't cost me anything. So yeah, I don't think I forgot everything. I think that's just about it. So $11,000 in this truck, and now we're gonna have people slamming down into the comments, I can't believe you spent $11,000 on an old worn out truck. Well, okay, a couple things. I had this truck for 5 years. Now, I didn't just buy it, yesterday and then drop $11,000 into it, because that would be ridiculous. I've owned this truck for 5 years and nearly put 100,000 miles on it. It's worth. I'm not worried about the $11,000 I spent on it. It was worth it. I love the way the truck looks, and I get it. The truck is probably worth half that. I'm not going to sit here and say that my truck is worth, some stupid, ridiculous amount. I'm reasonable. I'm not stupid. It's not worth $11,000. I'd be surprised. It's probably worth like $6,000. But like I said, I did all this over the time I've owned it. 5 years is a long time to own something, and 100,000 miles is a long time to drive something. So this wasn't something I spent, and I do not expect to recoup any of this, because for one, I don't want to sell the truck, and two, I would be smart enough to realize I would never recoup what I have in it anyway. So there you go. I don't even know a number to throw out if you included the, any type of maintenance cost on it, but that comes with any older vehicle if you're going to own one. But this truck has done good by me. It's made me plenty of money. Of course, a lot of my jobs I needed a truck for anyway. It's got me to and from work. It's never really left me stranded. It brings me to school and all of that. I travel. Of course, I'm in college, so I travel for school. So it's worth what I have in it. I'm not worried about it. You guys know I'm going to get a newer, or a Duramax here soon, but I do not intend to sell this. I had a bunch of people. I still get people asking me how much I'm going to sell it for. Not for sale. If something happened and I had to have money, I would part this thing out before I sold it as a whole, because I could get way more money for it if I just did that, because everything is straight on it. Every single body panel is straight. All of it's in good shape. I could rip the transmission out of it, the motor, and of course all the parts on it, sell it off, and I could probably get near $10,000, $11,000 for the truck as a whole, and then of course scrapping the chassis on it and everything. But that's not gonna happen. I'm just saying I would never sell it as a whole if I had to have the money, but I don't need the money. I don't want to sell it. I'm happy with the truck. I'm not worried about how much I've spent on it, but I had a ton of people ask me a question, and I hope that answered all those questions I got about how much that I really spend on it. So hope you guys found this interesting. Stay tuned. Maybe not the next video, but the video after. Hopefully that part will come in for the new motor, and we can talk about it. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're not already. A lot of cool stuff coming, especially building that new motor for this truck. Thanks again for watching. Go follow me over on Instagram at Austin04_Z71. That's down in the description below. Drop any comments you have. Hit me up in the DMs. Take care. Have a great day.